Welcome back to another episode of It's All Been Checked Before. This one, That Which Survives. And what survives is me and Jimmy-Jerome. We're making it through this season. You know what else is surviving? Or a way to survive? It's Nikki Tells You How to Live Your Life. It's literally, she tells you how to survive, how to get by. Some of it's simple stuff. Some of it's complicated. Either way, it's going to help you get through your day-to-day. Something else to help us here at IABD Presents get through our day-to-day? Go to patreon.com/IABD and support us. Help us get through our day. And then what we're going to throw you is some tent. Maybe you get a voicemail from Captain Kake. Maybe a t-shirt. Maybe one of those things that's on a phone. What do they call them? A bumper?
Pop socket?
A pop socket. You can get one of those even if you don't know what it is. Anyway, patreon.com/IABD. Speaking of Captain Richard Dick Kake, get the love. You're listening to Star Trek We Watch podcast. You know about Universe Journey. Love's Lust Lost. It's the Universe Journey novel. It goes all the way back to the beginnings of Captain Richard Dick Kake as the captain of the Ancestor. He seems confident, but is he really? Go back, find all the roots, connect it all together. Love's Lust Lost. It's all at IABDpresents.com. And this is all at It's All Been Trekked Before. This is That Which Survives.
Welcome out to another episode of It's All Been Trekked Before. This one is That Which Survives.
Yes, and apparently we're the only ones that survive. This is Steven of the crew.
And Jimmy-Jerome.
As we're deep into season 3.
It's totally a whole nother week later.
It's
not an hour after last week's episode.
And we are still, much like last week, desperate. Clearly, as it's just the two of us.
Yes, but I think this was much better.
I think so. Yeah, last week I was doom and gloom about this coming week. And I actually like this episode much more than I thought I was. Much more better than I remembered it as well.
I did not almost fall asleep during this one, so I'd call that an improvement.
Yes, I agree.
Many notes.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite episode or anything, but I thought it was one where the mystery, kind of like last episode, we had a mystery. You have that what's going on, and that's many of the episodes is okay. They're on a planet. Why are they here? What's going on? And this is another one where the Enterprise somehow gets thrown clear across the galaxy or whatever. But I thought the one here was was definitely more interesting. More stuff went on, for lack of a better term. And I know I'm just comparing it to last week, but enough to keep you intrigued. Not to mention Lee Merriweather. And definitely. First impressions, I was definitely much more interested. Much better episode than I remembered it. I think I just remembered her shape-shiftingness. And I thought, in my mind, it was a man trap episode. It was just a Monster of the Week episode disguised as a beautiful woman again. And I thought, it was more than that.
No, it was more than that.
It was definitely more than that.
I got a few things that you said that I want to comment on, but let's just go with...
Sure.
The first one, let's go with the nitty-gritty things that don't make sense. You said they're throwing 1,000 light years, and they got back in about a day.
Yeah.
With top speed.
Well, they're doing 14.2 or whatever.
Okay, so, when we get to 24th century time, granted the warps have been recalculated because they go faster, not slower.
Right.
But Voyager is thrown 70,000 light years away.
Okay.
And it's at their top speed, it will take them 75 years to get back. So at that calculation, if the Enterprise goes as fast as Voyager, it should take about a whole year to get back to the planet, not a day.
Yeah.
I would say we should chalk that up to they didn't know how their speed travel would work at that time.
I think actually when I was reading, somebody made a similar calculation and said that the math was...
Yeah, I mean, Voyager automatically 70,000. I thought I remembered it being 70 years, so I equate 1,000. Yeah. But I guess it was 75 years. Doesn't matter. Same point.
Yeah.
Same point.
Yeah.
It should have been a year, not a day. But we have this issue with the original series where they reach the edge of the galaxy, which would have taken them decades to get. Yeah. So the original series is not good with time of travel. Yeah. Unless Discovery explain. So I don't want to get too deep into Discovery because I know you haven't seen a lot of it. But there's something called the Spore Drive that powers the main ship Discovery that can put them from one point in the galaxy to another point like instantly. Huh. You'll have to see it.
Okay.
And a lot of people that have been worried about continuity have been wondering how we don't have that in any of the later shows. I mean, even this show is 10 years after that. But now I'm wondering if they're going to try to retcon it that the Enterprise had some version of that, and that's how they were able to move so fast so many places. I don't know, But they did say season 2 of Discovery, which, as we speak right now, and even as this airs, is probably not out yet because it's not coming out until January 2019. Okay. But season 2 would do a lot of tying into the continuity and explaining how they fit in the larger.
That would be awesome, especially if they take care of some of the things we've talked about.
I mean, honestly, if they try to say the Enterprise had spore drive, I'm going to call bullcrap on it because it doesn't. It's not something. Spore drive is a very specific technology, and you'll see it if you watch Discovery. It's not something they can just hide in the corner of the ship that we don't know about, I don't think. But that immediately is where my brain went, is spore technology trying to retcon this. Spore technology is also not sustainable.
Oh, there you go.
Big part of Discovery Season 1. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in about 15 years. But yeah, that's my comment on the just doesn't make sense. I did like that they said this planet's about the size of the moon because we were kind of talking about that
just last
episode.
Yeah.
And mass similar to Earth, which is funny, so it must be really, really dense, which I guess makes sense because they're talking about the heavy metal. But I think the way they showed that this planet was smaller than normal is we got to see the entire planet in the frame in space. Oh, yeah. And normally we only get to see a portion of it.
Oh, that's true.
Now, I would think it would be a much small, like not take up the whole screen.
Right.
Because of, if it's all equal, relative. Mm-hmm. But I still liked that we saw the whole planet, so it looked a little smaller. You want to talk about Lee Merriweather? I know you mentioned her.
Yeah.
Catwoman herself.
Catwoman, Miss America, I think 1953. I could be wrong, but she was definitely Miss America. And she was also on Barnaby Jones, which... So this is another one that as a kid, I was watching Barnaby Jones in the 70s with Buddy Ebsen also. And she was kind of his Girl Friday kind of.
She played Betty Jones.
Yeah. And
was that like his wife or something?
I think it was just his
coincidental last name.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's weird.
And then so she was on that, and then I knew she was Miss America, and then so that this episode, and of course, as you said, Catwoman. And I don't know if she's my favorite Catwoman, but
she's up there.
Yeah, I like
her better than Halle Berry, but man, Michelle Pfeiffer, I don't know. We'll see.
Man, I have a hard time distinguishing between the five. I mean, Halle Berry's Catwoman in the movie was terrible, so I don't even care.
Right?
She's beautiful, beyond beautiful, but
I'm
for
not
me,
a Halle Berry fan.
For me, actually, I went deep in the.
She's no Nichelle Nichols.
No argument there. No argument there.
I like Anne Hathaway as Catwoman. It just wasn't a very good thing. But Michelle Pfeiffer, that was my first Catwoman.
I actually, sidebar, I was having a conversation with Sean Wheeler this week about, because I went into a whole Batman Returns, which also led me to Catwoman, which was with Halle Berry, was actually a pseudo sequel to Batman Returns.
I've not actually ever seen that movie.
Catwoman.
I should have back, but.
Catwoman, it's one of the worst reviewed of all movies of all time.
I know.
Yeah.
But...
So anyway, I almost don't count her. Almost like I don't count Godfather Part 3. But yeah, Pfeiffer's great. I'm partial to Julie Newmar, but I also liked Eartha Kitt too. So I don't dislike any of them. They're all great.
Slightly off topic. I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp last week.
Oh yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer is still amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish she was in more.
This might be the. Michelle Pfeiffer's just been coming up in almost every conversation I've been having the last 2 weeks, randomly.
So funny.
Yeah. But anyway, Lee Merriweather, I really liked her in this, and great voice. I love her voice too.
Oh, yeah. She, I'm looking at her credits, and she actually has a Batman credit from 2017. She voiced Lucille Diamond in an animated Batman episode. So
she's got to be 80 or something by now, right?
She was born in 1935.
Okay.
She's already had her birthday this year. Right. So she would be 83.
Was Miss? They talk about Miss America on there? She's still 53, 54.
Today, sexy Lee Merriweather. This is how the bias starts. Is best remembered for her roles in science fiction fantasy made between 1966 and 1969, including Batman, the movie, Star Trek, Time Tunnel, and Land of the Giants. Batman the movie, in which she played evil Catwoman and not so evil Kitka.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I love Batman the movie.
Oh, that's right. She was. I forgot she had her secret identity, and that was not Selena Kyle.
No. I mean, that to me, I never watched the Batman TV show. I've seen an episode here and there, but Batman the movie, I love Batman the movie.
As a kid, I loved it, and
I still love it.
Even I have a.
Oh, it's cheesy as hell, but
it is.
Adam West has charisma out the butt.
Well, and she's fantastic in it.
And her and Frank Gorshin, who was just in Let That Be the Last Battlefield.
Yes. Yep.
And then we saw Batgirl, who's not in that movie, but this is just a Batman season.
Yeah,
we just had Batgirl guest star.
again, this is the Batman portion of the Star Trek podcast. In that Batman movie, as cheesy as it is, and Batman Returns, for that matter, is kind of, it's not cheesy, but it's funny. The relationship between Batman and Catwoman, and
Julie Newmar was the other Batman.
Julie Newmar, yeah. She's great. I think
Eartha Kitt's amazing.
Gun to my head, I would probably pick Michelle Pfeiffer.
But Julie Newmar's a close second.
She is, but Lee Merriweather's great too. I actually, as a kid, I can remember still feeling sad that Bruce Wayne and her real life character couldn't get together or whatever. Or whatever. So
I don't see the Miss America as I'm looking through the trivia. Oh, 1955.
Okay.
So more than 10 years before this. And she still looked great.
Oh, yeah.
I did just see, though, and this is terribly disappointing, that she is a descendant of Lewis Merriweather, of Lewis and Clark Expedition.
Really?
And it's terribly disappointing because so am I. So that means I should not be looking at her in that manner.
There you go.
Because apparently I'm related to Lee Merriweather.
Well, there we go. That's the Star Trek Connect. Maybe we can get her on here.
We should. I should be like, hey, cousin Lee.
Pull those strings.
Who's really far distant and not closely related to me at all.
Hey.
Farther enough away that I could find her attractive and it not be.
So far, it's our closest.
But yeah, I'm cousins with Lee Merriweather, apparently. I just realized that.
Should we jump into fashion while we're talking about great
Let's do it.
Fashion. Her outfit at first I just thought was okay, but as the episode went on, it grew on me. This is like the second straight episode where I feel like he's like, I'm not going to make the actress half naked. I mean, she was showing some skin.
Yeah.
But I think they're sharp outfits. And again, I wish this is where we really need Colleen and the ladies to be here for their.
I know, jeez. Because if you're a woman who would like to guest star on an episode, let us know.
Nobody's coming to us for fashion sense, that's for sure. But
by the time you hear this, season 3 will probably have finished recording it. But come talk fashion for the animated series.
That's right. But no, I thought but then, like I said, as her eye makeup was great, which I know Colleen would appreciate.
Her eye makeup was so on point.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was just great.
Yeah, and then when you get
and
to
her lips popped with it, like it all tied.
And I think the outfit and the makeup and all that at the end, it really. I think when it's revealed that she's essentially the Guardian or whatever, the computer generated Guardian, I think that it makes sense that look for me, whatever, for some reason that not that she's a robot, but that she's a computer generated image. That maybe that's why she looks so perfect.
I mean, the original looked the same.
Right. It's a copy of a copy of a copy, but it's probably her on her best day.
Oh, sure.
If
you're recording that message,
exactly,
showing up, you're gonna look your best.
Exactly. So, and she did.
I agree. I really, really liked the eye makeup. Yeah. It was just so interesting in the colors. I also
because we've had episodes where the makeup's just bizarre, just to be bizarre.
Yeah.
But this was,
and there wasn't anything special about last week's makeup. But I also really liked the planet design.
I did too, and I was thinking about it as we watched that a couple of the shots, and obviously they're on a soundstage or whatever, but there are some episodes where they work it much better. And this, I was thinking the same thing as I watched. I was like, this actually feels like it could be a different planet.
Well, and it was interestingly colored. I mean, we had the glitter in the rocks, the big glitter sequence or whatever. We had the painted reeds. We had the purple sky.
The backlighting was much more interesting. Yeah,
like later in the day, you could see a twilight.
Right,
like it changed.
Yeah.
Mid-episode, and then we had dirt that exploded when fired upon, which was interesting. I think the whole package they had a really interesting.
They did allow, and they stayed on the planet for more of that. I mean, it was much more. We've had the ones where the people are trapped on the planet, and you just keep doing the check-ins, and Sulu gives you the weather report, going all the way back to season 1. Speaking of which, they went all the way back to season 1 in this episode.
Devil in the Dark reference.
A Hornets reference.
Oh, maybe the rocks are alive.
Yeah.
Honestly, that immediately took the episode up several points in my esteem. They don't do that enough.
Yeah.
And to just do a casual callback without getting into it, I appreciate it.
I thought that was really
much.
Cool. Yeah.
So much.
That was awesome.
I probably wouldn't have got that as a child watching sporadic episodes on VHS.
No.
But on a binge now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and now we would call that fan service, but in this instance, it's just a nice. It makes sense. It's in the context.
I feel like some writer was just remembering the episode.
Yeah.
And they're like, nobody's gonna get this, but it feels right.
Yeah, and it made total sense.
Oh, absolutely.
So and I think it added to that, not just the mystery, just the idea that they're actually using logic and smarts to figure it out. Which, speaking of logic,
Mr. Spock?
Yeah, I know. Just last week, I was like, I love Mr. Spock in this episode, and he's on point. He's logical. This one was just so over the top with his.
Yeah, I didn't like Spock in this one.
It was just brutal.
Although I will say there was one line early on that it probably was, don't know for sure, but should definitely have been featured in the trailer. A planet even Spock can't explain. Like, I love that line because I'm like, oh no, that's tailor-made for the trailer.
But most of them I did not like.
I mean, the Spock-Scotty exchange where Spock's like, oh, we shouldn't sell the engine because that's undignified.
Yeah, I was like, oh, come on, all right.
It was just, I don't know. I didn't like Spock at all in this episode. No. His plot was necessary.
Right.
But I feel like they could have written the character better. Yeah,
it was just all that, like, he's been around these guys for a while. It's not like the dialogue in this was like those terrible records we listened to.
Yes,
it was written that poorly for Spock, for some reason.
I mean, he was so not trusting of Scotty's talents,
right?
And he even told Scotty how to fix his own engine.
Yeah, well, and there was another spot where, and I wondered about this, and we've seen this happen in other episodes where Spock calmly reaches over Riley. I think was the guy.
Yeah.
Or I think it was Riley.
Transporter.
Yeah, and he's clicking his buttons or whatever, and I'm like, I wonder how those guys feel about Spock. Like, remember the one episode he took over for her? I was like, and we did it. That was part of the sexism of that episode, but he does it for everybody.
He does.
And I wonder if
he's
like,
not sexist. He micromanages.
And I wonder if they're like, hey, what do you do? Okay, that's all right. Yeah, I should have done that. But still, I don't like you touching my buttons.
I mean, the people that serve on the Enterprise are all professional and highly intelligent.
Yeah.
It's the flagship of the fleet. I don't believe that Spock could do their job better than them. I'm sorry, I don't. Especially when it comes to Scotty, who's widely regarded as a miracle worker.
Right.
Spock is great, super intelligent, super well-rounded.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't outsmart Scotty on the engines.
No. Oh, I found when I think it was the end when he said, "Beauty is not transitory."
I wrote that down. Our beauty survives.
That was Kirk.
That was Kirk.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, Spock
said beauty is not transitory, but I believe she was remarkably intelligent, which I thought was for once somebody.
Well, then Kirk goes, well, she was remarkable, and I knew he was going to say remarkable before he said it. The ending was very contrived. I mean, the beauty survives is objectively not true. So
right. We know this. I mean, granted, Lee Merriweather looks great. Your cousin looks great at 83.
My cousin looks fantastic at 83. I mean,
she doesn't look like she did in this episode.
Our family ages well.
Well, there you go. And it was also almost a title of the episode for Keith. Maybe you'll hear this, but when he catches up with us, we'll see if he almost did a... Oh! I said, beauty survives.
I will say, I thought this was an excellent Shatner episode. I thought he acted very well in it. He didn't go over the top.
Yeah.
He kept it together.
Yeah.
It was understated, but I feel like that was good for what this was.
It was the perfect mix when he's doing his his Kirkus, where he's in charge, he's doing things, there's some action, and he's got a good sense of humor, and the lines aren't corny, other than the final line about beauty. But
yeah.
He has that one moment early on where he's a jerk a couple times in a row to Sulu, and I'm like... And I wrote
that down too.
I just wrote down...
The Sulu history lesson line?
Yeah.
Like, if I wanted a Russian history lesson, I would have brought Chekhov.
I felt like Sulu was providing quality information, and Kirk's just being a jerk. So I wrote Shatner is to Takei as Kirk is to Sulu in this episode. Mm-hmm. So that's...
I will say, I bumped on the Russian line because this is one of those things where Star Trek can't predict the future. But had the original series been written today...
Yeah.
Chekhov would certainly be bragging about the time Russia fixed America's production. I mean, and what Putin got away with. The fact that he has not bragged about Putin and what he's accomplished either means Putin suffers some big fall in our future, or they just couldn't anticipate it.
Well, the good news is we got past that, and that's because they just kept electing our presidents.
Because World War III happened and 600,000 people died.
Oh, that's right. That
That's the part everybody forgets about Utopian Star Trek, is we haven't gone through the worst of the history part yet.
Yep, and the eugenics wars, which happened in the 90s, and we don't really know about because
the Illuminati that now I know about.
Yeah, the Illuminati kept it from us.
It wasn't the Illuminati, but there's I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, that there's a 3-book set. 2 of them set during the eugenics wars that explains how it happened without us knowing in the 90s.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Tying together a bunch of unrelated events that actually happened. Speaking of, and I don't remember if it was Kirk or Spock, I wish I'd written this down. At the beginning of the episode, somebody, I think it was Kirk, said something to Uhura, but he didn't call her by name. He said, Lieutenant, call that person whatever. Yeah, it was Kirk. So first of all, he did not specify who he was talking to, and he wasn't facing her, and it wasn't part of a conversation with her. She just answers to Lieutenant now. There are other lieutenants on the bridge. Yeah. And then she tries to respond, and it's just yes, sir. But before she even gets it out, he's talking over her. Uh-huh. And that bothered me a lot.
Yeah, I didn't care for that.
It was very dismissive of you.
I wanted her snap back there. It was just so over the top, and it was unnecessary. Like we said, it was unnecessary for Spock to be like that in this episode.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a negative in this episode. I already kind of touched on this, but we talked about another shapeshifter. I guess technically she was a shapeshifter in that she could shift into a line and then into a dot.
Yeah, I don't think she was a shapeshifter necessarily. I feel like she was just kind of like a computer generated program
energy thing.
I don't know.
And I'll also say I remember that in my mind that effect was a lot worse than it actually looked. I don't know if it looked. We didn't really look at that.
We saw when we fast forwarding because we were checking Scotty in the tube, and it looked the same to me.
Yeah, it didn't we
were surprised they didn't update the effect of Scotty in the tube.
Yeah, in my mind, that effect of her doing that was super, super cheesy, much cheesier than Garth doing his shapeshifting last week. But it wasn't terrible.
No, it was fine.
It was kind of cool.
Oh, I guess we should have talked about when we were talking about the planet, but I liked the elevated soundstage so that they could make it move around.
Yeah.
I feel like as little as they spent last week, this week was their big budget episode.
Yeah, that was very cool. Speaking of the planet, poor D'Amato.
Did you expect him to live longer based on how they started him out?
No, I knew immediately he was dead.
Oh, I didn't.
Because
played by Arthur Beck.
Yeah, it's the classic, it's become the thing of it's my last day on the force. All I got to do is make it to this, and me and my wife are moving to Florida.
Well, considering he's best known for Police Academy, that's funny that you bring up.
There you go. Yeah, I think he was in the first 4 actually. I think I read
that. He was definitely in 3, 4, and 6. I guess 5 was not there.
Okay, so
it was in 2. I don't see
maybe
the
first
4
of
one.
them.
And then no, he wasn't the first. No, this Police Story.
And then I think he retired after the Police Academy 6.
He did 2, 3, 4, and 6.
Yeah.
He was also in the Time Tunnel, which is a very famous movie I still have not seen.
But yeah, I probably saw it when I was researching too, but it was definitely for someone who's been around so long, this will be a great find for you. And in my mind, I heard, it's your last day of the force. You're almost about to retire and get that gold watch.
I didn't hear that. I'm like, they're really making friends. He's not wearing a red shirt. He must be important to this episode.
Well, and you knew he was a geologist because he picked up that dirt and then he put it back down.
I mean, that's what geologists do, right? But then Sulu could replace him. I feel like when Kirk's like, now Sulu, it's your job. I'm like, oh, Sulu, you like the hobbies. This is your new hobby, which we haven't seen in a long time.
No, we have not. But now he's a junior geologist.
I mean, speaking of D'Amato and other crewmen, I felt like, in a way we haven't seen in a long time, there was a lot of diverse crew on the Enterprise. Yeah. We saw new people with diversity in the bridge, in sickbay, in engineering. I mean, Mabenga we'd seen before. Yeah. But Watkins in engineering and female Sulu on the bridge, whatever her name was.
I can't remember.
Lieutenant Rada, played by Naomi Pollock.
Who's, I guess, established she's big in Jewish theater. The Jewish theater scene. She's one of the...
They made her... She had the red dot on her forehead, so I assumed she was, Indian of some sort.
I'm not sure, but I
mean, she's known for this role. Okay. Oh, she's credited as Lieutenant Rada / Indian woman. Okay. I guess they're probably assuming the same thing as the dot.
All right.
Lieutenant Indian woman, this is who she played in the Paradise Syndrome.
Oh,
she was in the Paradise Syndrome.
Too. Okay.
She was a Native American. That which survives, and Requiem for Methuselah, which is coming up, she played Lieutenant Rada. She was in 2 episodes as Lieutenant Rada. Okay. Although it says uncredited for Requiem, so I'm guessing it's a smaller part.
Okay.
She also did 19 episodes of Korg, 70,000 BC, whatever that show is.
Oh, yeah.
Those are her only 2 credits.
Huh.
So...
But yeah, they all got something to do. It was good to find
I liked getting that fuller crew. Mabenga didn't have a lot to do.
No, he just had the one. But
Watkins had to die. And Rada, female Sulu, got to say a few things.
Got to announce what warp they were at and that we're going faster. Now we're going slower. And I know my hearing's going, but I feel like when they're going warp 11, you hear the ship going. Yes. And then in this one, you only heard it when they slowed down.
Yes.
You heard the brakes getting put on or whatever. Mm-hmm. I thought that was not a big deal, but going back to D'Amato and Lee Merriweather, and same with Watkins, when they find a strange woman, I'm here for you, and I understand them taking a little while and Sulu too, I guess, taking a little while to figure out what they wanted to do. And then they do finally go to shoot, and then it's like, okay, you know what? You might want to hightail it out of there.
I mean, Sulu, I read this, he said, I don't want to have to kill a woman.
Yeah.
First of all, does not hold up well as a line.
No.
But I did kind of, knowing what we know now about George Takei and about how they've done Sulu, I wanted him to say something about fabulous, and it does seem funny that he's not, or that he's immune to her charms the way the other men weren't. Like, Sulu really doesn't fall for it.
You're right.
So there we go, right there. That's the sign Sulu was gay.
That's
right from the beginning.
That's a good point.
I am one of those that don't think that calling Sulu gay in the new movies actually contradicts anything.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything in the original series that says Sulu has to be straight.
No.
He does. We do find out he has a daughter later on.
Okay.
But we don't know if that was a biological daughter.
Right.
And in the new Star Trek films, he has that
a daughter. Yeah.
He has Delora.
Yeah.
They, I don't know, adopted her. I don't know. But I don't think there's anything in here that contradicts it. And I certainly buy him being gay just fine.
Yeah, because there's never him really. He never has love interest like Chekhov. And like the closest he gets is when he grabs Uhura when he's swashbuckling in is it Naked Time?
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's interesting that. I mean, I think Chekhov's straight. I think they're just buddies.
Right.
But, I mean, I'm totally a type of Chekhov, I think, in that regard. But, yeah, I definitely think, I'd buy it. And the fact
Chekhov's a sailor. He's probably up for anything.
Yeah. Well, depends how much vodka he's got.
Speaking of the D'Amato dying, I did read, this is the last episode where crew members die.
Really?
From here on out, no more dead crew members.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, since we're at this point...
Sorry, spoiler alert.
No,
all crew members will live from now on.
Since we're at this point, I think it's worth talking about. We really haven't seen that many red shirts die.
No.
There were some red shirts in this episode. They were fine.
No, we've had a couple episodes. I think it was Obsession, the cloud. I feel like that was the one where we lost like 5 or 6 and...
Well, I know I've seen like articles or people that have actually gone back and examined and recorded how many red shirts died. It's a significant number. But watching it as we have, I don't feel like I see that trend. I'm not sure how people picked up on it.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like those Shatnerisms that people do that don't exist.
That we don't really see. Yeah, it's things they read a little. I mean, I guess when you're obsessed over, and you only have 79 episodes, you start to... Yeah. You watch them a whole bunch, and then think all the red shirts you see die multiple times because you've seen that episode. It starts to feel like a trend. I don't know. No,
I think that's valid, and I think it cuts the other way that people who aren't obsessed with it but have only seen a handful of episodes might have seen the 2 episodes
where the red shirts
and it becomes a thing.
Well, I think we had an early episode where we had a co-host. I don't remember who, but somebody was like, "Well, they were red shirts and they didn't die. I just always thought they died."
It was Marianne,
or I saw that person die and they were wearing a red shirt. What's going on?
I was keeping count early on of how many crew members we were losing, but
we lost quite a few.
Early on, it seemed like we were losing.
I mean, honestly, in the course of the series, we lost. If there's only 470 something or something, we lost a significant number.
Yeah.
I mean, we're probably in the teens % range of the entire crew.
1 an episode, maybe. Maybe more.
Average out?
Yeah. Maybe 2.
There were a number of episodes.
More than 1, less than 2?
I'd say probably about 1.
And knowing we're going to be 0 the rest of the way.
Even if we average out to 1 an episode or a little bit less or a little bit more, we're still talking like 15% of the crew. That's a significant amount.
And that brings up something, and we bring it up every once in a while, but I know when I was first watching, just the idea of they're not... And you brought up they're the ship of the Starfleet, yeah. And the idea
not because of Kirk, because Pike made it the flagship.
Well, yeah, and the idea was that they were like the idea of the series was, besides the Western aspects, was that they were like the seagoing folks, and a lot of those guys didn't live either. So it was definitely, but yeah, the 5-year journey is find new worlds. They're going into no man's land, literally. I mean, so it is a dangerous thing.
Anytime you're the first one out there, I mean, it's like if you look at Apollo astronaut, not just Apollo, NASA astronauts. Yeah, it doesn't seem like we've lost a lot of special out lately, but if you do it as a percentage, it's pretty high.
Yeah.
So I would agree with that.
This is the downer part of it's all been.
I mean, we certainly don't wish NASA astronauts to die.
We're just stating facts here, really.
Absolutely.
Speaking of dead people,
okay.
I liked McCoy's comment after they buried D'Amato, and Sulu's like, oh, I actually like Sulu. It's like, I like that the interchange they have with, Sulu's like, he looks awfully lonely there, and McCoy's like, well,
be lonelier if he wasn't.
He'd be lonelier, yeah. And Sulu's like, this isn't a time to joke. He's like, and I didn't know that's what he said, but I thought he was. I'm not joking, and he wasn't. He's like, yeah, we're not out of this yet. He's not the only one. So.
That scene, I thought it was interesting that one of them had a Sharpie they brought down with them to do the great stuff.
I thought they did it with a phaser.
It didn't look etched. It looked like it was written on the outside.
They put it on etch. They set their phaser to etch.
But it didn't look like it was.
I mean, they set their phaser to singe. Yes. Here's another. I don't know. This isn't necessarily sexist, just descriptive. But I like that. I think it was Scotty says his last words were a warning cry about some strange woman. And I have many friends who I feel like that either was or will be their last words.
What I found strange about that scene is Scotty's in there with a whole bunch of engineers, and Walken goes, Scott, blah, 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 blah. And Scotty takes a front, and the rest of them just stand there. Uh-huh. And I'm like, wait, no, you should have a whole crowd of people running your defense.
And I've said this before in previous episodes, and I think fairly recently. For as many times as somebody hijacks the engineering, the warp drive, we need better security down there. And that engineering, come on, it should be like the cloaking device on a Romulan ship in a separate room with some special guards and then some more special guards. Maybe some better guards than the Romulans had, but still.
We'll talk about this when we get to Star Trek: The Motion Picture, but what strikes me is how small engineering is.
Yeah.
And in the same ship, after they retrofit it, it's huge.
Yeah.
And it's not a different Enterprise. Right. It's the same Enterprise.
Well, and they try to... the part that we see, and then...
But even when we've seen other parts of it, it does not seem big.
I know they try and make their perspective and like act like in the old series, but it's bigger. But
so maybe it's a whole bunch of rooms, and we only see those first couple.
That's what I.
And then they're like, okay, open floor plan now. Yeah. We take out all the walls.
Well, like the little room he went into tonight was. I don't know that we'd seen it before, but it's...
No, where they open the tunnel?
Yeah.
I don't think so
that
either.
Too. Yeah, that was a new one, yeah.
I don't think so either, and I wrote that down. I liked how they picked him up and put him in
Yeah, that was funny.
And then he did some weird contortion thing.
He did.
Where he was like turned to the side.
And for a minute,
crawling.
I thought he was... Because I was looking at his feet. He was holding his feet as if he was going up a Jeffries tube. So I thought, are they filming this from the top? But then when he set the stuff down, it didn't fall. So
Right. And it was clearly a horizontal tube.
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt very strange.
I don't know why he couldn't just climb in there himself.
And I don't know why he wasn't on his hands and knees crawling in there.
Right.
Why was he sliding and then twisting?
Right.
It didn't make sense. Yeah, well, what are you going to do?
I liked Spock's little calculator he was carrying around, or whatever that was. The whole episode, he had a little device he was...
That's how he was smarter than everybody.
Yeah. So he was using that the whole episode. I don't think I'd seen that before.
I've got some just random notes. I thought... A couple things that were very strange to me. I thought it was strange that Kirk scolded Sulu for immediately guessing the Enterprise was destroyed. But in the very next scene, they're just making the assumption that the Enterprise has been destroyed.
Mm-hmm. Come on, the Enterprise hasn't been destroyed. Well, the only thing that can come up is the Enterprise destroyed. I just said that. Sulu, will you please stop?
If I wanted somebody to tell me what, I would have brought Spock with me. I also thought it was very strange. They all definitely saw that woman in the transporter room. Mm-hmm. Then they're beamed down. Yeah. They don't talk about her.
No.
And it takes Sawano and it takes Sulu even longer time to recognize her. Yeah. And dudes, a strange woman appeared in the transporter room.
Out of nowhere.
That's the first thing you're talking about when you land.
Yeah. Like, hey, Kirk's Enterprise, which, that reminds me. I know this is going back to last week, but for you folks who didn't like the episode, I just wanted one more thing about, God, I can't remember, Mark and Gideon. Why didn't Kirk have a communicator with him? He never used his communicator when he went down to Gideon. When he was on the... I thought he was on the other Enterprise. I know.
It's the same reason a lot of characters in movies today don't have cell phones with them. It's too easy.
Yeah. Back to the present.
It's a great point.
Back to the here and now.
I thought Lee Merriweather and the way they talked about the destruction of their species felt very Krypton to me.
Yeah.
Very Superman.
Yes.
And the way she carried herself.
Yeah. Well, and even actually... her little hologram thing or whatever, her little message,
the whole thing
was just like in the Superman movies. That's a good call. Kryptonian. That's a good call.
The Superman movies came after this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But obviously, Superman was around well before this.
Superman, yeah.
The character, but
the movie, the story part. But visually, I thought it looked very much like Jor-El's message.
I won't, in this case, say they're both Star Trek because I would think it's very odd that they picked this episode to rip off.
Right.
But It did feel...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Kirk, when she was coming for Kirk, how he's dancing around the officers, like, I still want to be close to you, even though I can't let you touch me.
Yeah, he even comes around, so he's even.
And then he jumps back.
Yeah.
And that was weird.
That's because it's a beautiful woman, so Kirk is still like, I still kind of want to get close to her.
I know. I also thought it was weird that Sulu's shoulder, every molecule in was disrupted. A scene later, it's fine. He's cool. He can move it. It's all good. Like, you'd think there'd be like a hole where his shoulder was.
So I guess if you just graze someone, it just disrupts the cells where you touch them. But if you actually touch them...
Temporarily. And then they
everything,
get back.
Yeah.
Also, Spock, everything's going bad on the Enterprise. It's all going bad. They put Scotty in the tube, and there's like 9 seconds left. And Spock's like, nope, we're not going to jettison you. We will let the ship get destroyed. Because I trust in Scotty, even though he showed no trust in Scotty.
Well, and I thought that was supposed to be now I'm playing a hunch. It's my human side after I've been talking about all this. But they never really say that. They never say that.
And there was no discussion of separating the saucer, of using the escape pods.
No.
Those things should have been discussed.
Yeah.
Now, I can absolutely see a reasonable argument that we're going to warp 14. The escape pods would get destroyed.
Yeah, that's true.
Or the saucer would...
Right.
But there was no discussion.
Yeah.
That felt odd to me.
There was probably some people discussing it, but we just didn't get to see them.
I think it's something that would have come up.
Did you hear we're going for warp 14.2? Yeah. Do you hear the ship's going to explode? Yeah. Why aren't we talking about doing the escape pods? I don't know.
They blow off too fast.
And that's just 2 people down in the lunchroom.
Yeah. I just thought there should have been some discussion.
I agree. That makes sense. I thought that the room where the computer was reminded me of a great dance club, but no one goes there anymore. It had the cube with the lights.
Instead of a mirror ball, it's a cube.
Yeah, it had the cube and that big floor, and nobody was there. It's like, this place used to be happening, but nobody goes here anymore. It's not the place it used to be. Everyone's down at Club 54 down the street or whatever.
Alternate episode.
Mine is Vanessa Williams as another Miss America, so she actually just plays the same part.
I like Vanessa Williams.
Yeah, that would have been so they
remake this episode, but it's Vanessa Williams.
So Discovery folks, please,
she has a similar delivery, I think.
Yeah.
Of what Lee Merriweather did. My thing was when the Enterprise...
I'm not related to Vanessa Williams, but she went to Syracuse University, which I'm from. I was born there, so that's as close to Vanessa Williams.
I enjoyed her very much in Ugly Betty and Desperate Housewives. My alternate episode is the bridge is getting shaken around, Spock hits his head on the side of the captain's chair.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he hit his head right on the button and somebody else got shot out the pod. And the whole episode where they're trying to save the ship, they keep trying to be like, Spock, you gotta come to trial now. You're on trial for the murder of this crewman. Well, no, I've gotta save the ship. Yeah, but this is more important. Was that the pod where Scotty was? Was that where Finnegan?
Maybe that is. Actually, that's funnier than... I actually did like the line where they're like, what happened? Spock's like, well, my head hit the... Right. It was stupid, but it was funny. But that's funnier.
Just some random red shirt incident. Ah!
I just had 2 more notes.
Sure,
the one was, I am for you, I want to touch you. Again, if Lee Merriweather is saying this to you, it's hard to run. I understand.
Yeah.
And then, so Spock and the security guy beam down, and Kirk immediately yells, Spock, destroy the computer. And the security guard shoots at the cube. How did he know that was a computer?
I thought the same thing, and also he's told Spock to do it.
Yeah.
Not the security officer.
I would have loved it. The security guard shoots, blows that up, and they're like, everything saw, and they're like, no, that's the computer. Yeah.
I did think the special effects were a little weak when they had 3 Lee Merriweathers. It looked a little fake. Yeah, and although I will say her body doubles from behind were much better than many of the ones we've seen in the fight scenes over these first 3 seasons. So we are up to That Which Survives. Yeah. Does Lee Merriweather knock out Alon? Yes, I did not expect that coming in, but really? She does, yeah. You didn't expect... No, I'm not saying really she knocks her out. I'm saying really you didn't expect that? Again, my memory of this episode was clearly much more negative than it should have been. From the eye makeup alone, Sarah knocks out D'Lo for me. I'm gonna ask Colleen to try that for me. Oh, get the outfit and the eye makeup, and well... I mean, I'd be happy with just the eye makeup. Yeah. But the outfit's cool, too. I would say we can definitely start at least in the middle of the season. I think so, yeah. Again, I'm very surprised. Since she knocked off Alon, let's start there. Better or worse than Alana Troyes? I think better. I would say the same. Yeah. That's a little above halfway.
Wow.
The Empath. I tell you, above The Empath is Day of the Dove, and it's not better than Day of the Dove for me.
Yeah, I could see putting this above The Empath.
You think so?
It's
I think it's a tough call.
Yeah, I think that's a good. In there's a good landing spot.
Yes. I did not expect this to rank up here.
I didn't either. I can't say I'd be emphatic.
Pleasantly surprised.
I can't say I'd be emphatic to say either way.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Right now, I'd say above, but
recency.
Yeah, I think it's probably his recency bias.
Yeah, I'll give it to you above. I'm really not sure.
Yeah,
it's hard to.
Yeah, this was a pleasant surprise, especially coming off of Mark of Gideon, which was.
Oh my god.
So disappointing. Well, it wasn't even disappointing. It just wasn't good.
It just wasn't good.
It didn't disappoint me. There was nothing. I couldn't remember anything about it.
So right now, we are. We have to count one out. 16.
Right.
We've watched 16.
Okay.
We're ranking this as number 6.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. I know, right?
I did not expect that. Yeah, the storyline and the sci-fi in this was much better than I remember.
Unfortunately, next week, The Lights of Zetar. Or Zetar? I don't remember.
I think it's Zetar.
A mysterious twinkling mass of sapient energy ravages an important archive, and Scotty's new girlfriend may be linked to it.
This does not bode well. Does not sound...
My memory of it, and I know I've seen this one, is not good.
My very vague recollections of it. Especially, I didn't remember Scotty's girlfriend in it, so...
And Barbara Babcock voices Zetar.
Oh, so she's back again. There's another Light Force, there's another Barbara Babcock voice.
Longer notice, the Enterprise on course to install new equipment on Memory Alpha, the central library for the Federation.
Okay.
Chief Engineer Scotty's been working closely on the project with Lieutenant Mira Romaine, with whom he's been forming a romantic
that name I remember.
attachment,
Okay.
which he should not do in the workplace.
That name.
The Enterprise.
The Enterprise, we've had marriages.
That's true.
Although immediately he died, so let that be a lesson to you.
The Enterprise encounters a space storm that kills the staff at Memory Alpha and possesses Lieutenant Mira Romaine.
Oh wow.
Does not sound good to me.
Nope.
But
hey, I felt that way about that which survives, but I think we'll probably be right about this one. But maybe not. Maybe not.
This one was written by a woman, in part, Sherry Lewis.
Okay. Lights of
Zetar. We'll talk about more about that last time, but this is the Sherry Lewis of Lamb Chop.
If I ever knew that, I completely forgot it.
Me too.
Wow.
She's co-writer with Jeremy Tarcher. I don't know who it is. Man, I don't really want to get into this right now because we will talk about it more.
Yeah, we'll get deep into it next week.
But it is the Sherry Lewis.
Wow.
And she said she decided Kirk got all the love interest. She thought it was time Scotty got a turn.
I like that angle.
I do too. But now I'm super interested.
I
forgot there was a lamb chop puppet in this episode. Honestly, after we watch it, I'm sure Lamb Chop would have improved it.
I know at that time I loved Sherry Lewis, but I don't remember anything about her writing in this episode.
I also love Sherry Lewis as a performer.
Yeah.
I know nothing about her as a writer.
Yeah.
So she's got 3 writing credits.
Okay.
A TV movie called A Picture of Us, and then 9 episodes of The Sherry Show. So, and this was her first writing
I may have seen that.
It was created by her and Jeremy Tarcher, who co-wrote The Lights of Zetar with her. So, we will get into them. This one episode...
Well, she knows all about
Jeremy
possessing other people.
Is best known for.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Lights of Zetar more than The Sherry Show. So, we'll get into that next week.
Yeah.
Oh, they were married. It's her husband.
Oh, okay.
We'll get into Sherry Lewis and all that great stuff next week.
Scotty's girlfriend. I look forward to meeting
Scotty's girlfriend.
Mira Romaine. I know that. I remember that name, but I don't remember much more about it.
Yeah, the name sounds familiar. I see the picture. The picture looks familiar.
Yeah.
I'm just really, really shocked to stumble on the Sherry Lewis connection.
Me too. This is something. Thank you, Internet.
Until then.
Yeah.
This is the song that never... No, that's next week's ending.
Until then.
Live long and prosper.
I am for you.
No, stay away. It's All Been Done presents.
Who's got the time?